You're listening to Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan and friends. And here's Russ.
Hey, welcome back to Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan. How's everybody this February day? Man, 2021, almost through winter. Appreciate you tuning in. Been telling stories, being righteous, doing all those things. That's why you tuned into a real estate show today, isn't it? Listen to me preach. Hey, 2021. What I know for sure is this. Everything is up to you. If you want to change something, you can change it. May not be easy. Failure is a big part of the real world, right? I was going to bring up a couple people that have failed because I know right now a lot of people are hurting. And a lot of people, at no fault of their own, are in trouble financially. And they don't deserve it. Home prices are climbing at a record pace. Is it going to crash? I don't know. I don't think so. But man, it's getting harder for a first-time home buyer. I know that. It's getting real tough to compete with money from somewhere else. So we need to increase the supply. But in the short term, that takes time. Real estate is not turn on a dime. It takes time to go up. It takes time to go down. Think about the Great Recession of 2008. It actually started in 2005. People just didn't see it. If you want to learn about the Great Recession and maybe compare it, do two things. YouTube, 2008 versus 2021, you'll see a lot of funny articles about speculation. Or you can watch the movie The Big Short. That was a good movie about the 2008 crash. I remember thinking after I went broke in the 2008 crash, right before that, I thought I was rich. It's kind of a funny parallel, isn't it? Or a dichotomy where you think one thing and the next day it's something else. Right about the time you feel like money's too easy, you should probably get out. And right now, a lot of crazy things happening. We have a lot of unemployment. We have a lot of people in forbearance. When that other shoe drops, what's going to happen? Are rates going to climb? People don't think so. People think it's going to be okay. The Fed wants the rates to stay low. That helps. It's dang near zero right now, the federal fund rate. So interest rates, 30-year mortgage, 2.75. One of the differences between 2008 and 2021 collapse is in 2008, and we're going to talk to Michael Maher about this in the next segment a little bit, but in 2008, they offered what was called stated income loans, which basically meant you didn't have to show how much you made. They didn't really even care if you had a job. You could borrow almost as much as you wanted, and they would loan you money. Banks in general would loan you money. They got greedy, right? They got greedy because as rates climbed, and people don't remember this, but there was 17 rate hikes from 2006 to 2008 or 2004 to 2006. Can't remember. There were 17 rate hikes in 3 years. So as rates got as high as 6.25% on a 30-year fixed, if I remember right, in 2008, that made it difficult. And at the same time, although we had a lot of sellers, homes were selling fast. So there was a lot of people buying because there was a lot more people qualifying. Really, people qualifying, many people that shouldn't have got a loan. So it was artificial. It was basically printed money that, one day. And if you think about it, if you have a principal and interest loan, say on a $300,000 loan at 2.75% and you drop 20% down, your payment's going to be about $1,000, principal and interest. Well, if it's an interest-only loan like they were given in 2008, you might only pay $600 a month. But here's the problem. Then the rates started clicking up. Remember, 17 rate hikes in 3 years. All of a sudden, your next statement was $400 more than the last one per month. And you were getting nowhere on the principal. And that was usually set up between 2 and 10 years on what's called an adjustable rate mortgage with a stated income loan qualifier, which was, they called them the liar loans because anybody could get $1 million. All you had to do is to say, yeah, I want it. That's not what's happening now. I mean, money's hard to get. They passed the Dodd-Frank bill in 2010 that basically restricted credit. But by about 2012, 2013, it started to go the other way. But at least now people are qualifying. Stock market was at an all-time high, but we have massive unemployment due to COVID. Massive amounts of people, millions of people in forbearance. That's not going to end now, I think, till September. But you have to check, right? Because every bank, every loan's different. There's so many things happening now that are unprecedented. It really is difficult. And don't let anybody tell you they know exactly what's going to happen in the future, because we don't. Supply constraints are real. We know that people are now able to live anywhere they want to live and work. So getting in the game is probably a good idea, but be careful. Talk to some smart people. That's the financial side. There's the other side of the coin, right? There's a side of the coin that's like if you got your butt kicked in a street fight ever, or got punched in the nose, or in my case, got bucked off an animal 2 years straight. You kind of got to decide that you're done with that. You're done with negativity. You're done with feeling sorry for yourself. And I'm not I don't have a lot of letters behind my name, so I don't necessarily claim to be a psychiatrist or counselor. I'm not even a life coach. I'm a real estate broker. But I know sometimes my dad used to say, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and somewhere along the line, everybody got a red ribbon and blue ribbons were no longer popular. In other words, average was okay. Because if we weren't average, then that means somebody's feeling bad. Now, I'm not saying when we were in elementary school or high school, if you were the person that got picked last, that it was fun. You know what I mean? Like there was always, you pick sides at PE. I don't even think there's PE anymore half the time. For people that don't know what PE is, it's physical education. We actually had a class like that in high school. But you know what happens? I know people that were picked last. That sucked for them. But they're doing amazing now. You know why? Because they got mad. They got mad about being picked last. And they decided it was their responsibility to do well. Their responsibility to work hard. It wasn't their right to be given stuff, to be entitled. Now, it might sound harsh, but I think we coddle each other too much. I think every once in a while, like in real estate, if someone says, man, those leads suck. The leads for buyers aren't any good. Really? Well, did you know that after the 7th call to a lead, it jumps about 70% in converting that lead to an actual deal? In other words, if you leave a message once, that's not working. In real estate, I'm specifically talking about our job, right? But the patience factor. What I tell our brokers is that lead generation and lead conversion aren't the same, and lead conversion requires patience and persistence. Saying the right things in the right order and working hard. Like 3 hours a day of lead generating, right? Sounds weird, huh? Well, digging a ditch for 10 hours a day sucks too. So you have to decide, is it the lead's fault or is it your fault that you're not getting what you want? Or are you still upset that you didn't get what you wanted because you didn't do the work that you should have? Or it's just society's fault that you don't have what you want? Struggle is the inspiration. Adversity can be the clarity, but you got to get mad. That's right. You got to pick a side. You got to get mad. I don't mean a side politically. I don't mean a side, even in the physical world. I mean, just in your mind, decide which side of the coin are you going to be on. Are you going to be a victim? Or are you going to change it? Not everything needs to be fair or unfair. I coach with Fletcher Ellingson. By the way, if you ever want to talk to the guy, he's amazing. Mindset stuff. He shared with me that once upon a time that we look at things as fair or unfair. The problem with that is there's a perpetrator and a victim. So if you say, well, that's not fair to me, well, then you're a victim, right? and you have to assume the victim role. And there's obviously a bad guy because, you didn't self-inflict your pain. Okay, well, maybe that's true. Maybe you didn't self-inflict your pain, but does it do any good to cry and spill milk? I mean, what's funny to me is that the more we went through 2020, the more my dad's lessons and sayings, don't cry and spill milk, two wrongs don't make a right, treat other people like you like to be treated. Anybody hear these things growing up? Do they say them anymore? The question is not that anybody's doing anything wrong, but I think we just kind of got to believe that today's the day that we start changing. Today's the day that it can be better. Be the exception. Quit pussyfooting around. If you want something, decide you want it, start right now, and you can get to it. I think we're in for a good run if you decide you're in for a good run. Start being nice to people. It'll come back to you. I appreciate you tuning in today. I kind of got a little righteous. I do that once in a while. Let's just think about it from what you can control, not what you can't. Make today the day you start that. I appreciate it. One more time. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, get outside. All right, when we come right back, we'll be with Michael Maher in Prime Lending and find out what in the world he thinks about forbearance and the future of 2021 with mortgages. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be right back.
Home, sweet home. Oh, home, sweet home. Home, sweet